Michael always believed two things in life were unbreakable: family and marriage. He and his younger brother Daniel had grown up inseparable. They fought as kids, sure, but they defended each other against the world. When their parents died, Michael stepped into the role of protector. He helped Daniel get his first job, loaned him money when he struggled, even let him stay in the guest room after a bad breakup. And Emily, Michael's wife of 7 years, welcomed Daniel like a brother too. Or at least, that's what Michael thought. It started with small changes. Emily began staying up later than usual. More time on her phone. More unexplained smiles that disappeared the moment Michael walked into the room. At first, he ignored it. Marriage had seasons, he told himself. Stress came and went. But then came the night everything cracked. Michael had left work early, planning to surprise Emily with dinner. When he pulled into the driveway, he noticed Daniel's car parked outside. That wasn't unusual. Daniel visited often. But the house was quiet. Too quiet. Michael walked in, calling their names. No answer. Then he heard laughter, upstairs. His chest tightened as he climbed the stairs slowly. The bedroom door was slightly open. And through that gap, his entire world collapsed. Emily and Daniel. Together. There was no misunderstanding. No innocent explanation. Just betrayal, raw, undeniable. Michael didn't remember pushing the door open. He didn't remember what he shouted first. He only remembered the look on Daniel's face, shock mixed with guilt, and Emily's scream as she grabbed the sheets. Mike, wait. But he wasn't waiting. Rage flooded him, deeper than anything he'd ever felt. Not just as a husband, but as a brother. Downstairs, the confrontation exploded. Daniel tried to explain. It wasn't planned, it just happened. Michael shoved him hard against the wall. You were my blood, he roared. Daniel pushed back. And you were never home. She was lonely. The words hit Michael like gasoline on fire. He swung first. The fight was brutal. Fists, shouting, years of brotherhood unraveling in minutes. Furniture crashed. Glass shattered. But it wasn't just physical pain. It was grief punching grief. Daniel finally staggered back, lip bleeding, eyes filled with regret. I never wanted to hurt you, he said hoarsely. Michael's voice dropped, colder than anger. But you did. Emily stood frozen, crying, begging them to stop. But Michael couldn't even look at her. Not yet. Not when the two people he trusted most had destroyed him in the same moment. He threw Daniel out of the house that night. And he told Emily to leave too. Divorce papers came fast. Michael didn't argue. Didn't negotiate. He just signed. Silently. Months passed. Silence filled the spaces where love and laughter once lived. Michael cut contact with Daniel completely. Blocked numbers. Ignored emails. Family gatherings stopped. He buried himself in work, in the gym, in anything that kept his mind from replaying that bedroom door. Anger kept him moving. But pain stayed underneath. Then came the unexpected twist. Almost a year later, Michael received a call from a hospital. Daniel had been in a serious car accident. Critical condition. At first, Michael almost hung up. But one sentence stopped him cold. He's asking for you, the nurse said. Against his instincts, Michael went. Seeing Daniel in that hospital bed was disorienting. Bandaged. Weak. Nothing like the brother he'd fought. Daniel struggled to speak. I don't deserve you being here, he whispered. Michael said nothing. Then Daniel said something Michael never expected. Emily, she's pregnant. Michael's stomach dropped. A storm of emotions surged, anger, betrayal, disbelief. But Daniel kept talking. It's not mine. Michael froze. What? Daniel swallowed painfully. She told me months after you left. The baby is yours. She didn't cheat until after she found out she was pregnant. She was scared you'd leave if you knew she'd been hiding it. The room went silent. Michael's mind reeled. That doesn't excuse what you did, he said sharply. I know, Daniel whispered. I hate myself for it. I was drunk, broken, and I crossed a line I can't uncross. Tears slid down Daniel's temples. "But you deserve to know. You're going to be a father." Michael left the hospital in a haze. He hadn't spoken to Emily in almost a year. But now, everything had changed. When they finally met, it was tense, fragile. Emily looked different, softer, tired, protective of the life growing inside her. "It's true," she said quietly. "The baby is yours." Michael struggled to process the wave of emotions. Betrayal still burned. But beneath it, something else stirred. Responsibility, hope, fear. They didn't reunite romantically. Too much had happened. Some wounds don't close that way. But they began rebuilding something different: respect and co-parenting. When their daughter was born, Michael held her in his arms and felt something shift. A new chapter. One not defined by betrayal, but by what came after. Daniel survived the accident, but with lasting injuries. He never fully recovered physically. But emotionally, he spent years trying to make amends. He never expected forgiveness. Yet one day, years later, Michael invited him to his daughter's birthday. Not as a brother fully restored, but as family trying to heal. Watching his daughter laugh with balloons in her hands, Michael realized something profound. The worst betrayal of his life had also led to the most important love he'd ever known. Pain had shattered his world. But it hadn't ended it. And though the scars remained, so did the family, broken, reshaped, but still standing. Years passed, and life slowly settled into something calmer, not perfect, but honest. Michael's daughter, Lily, became the center of his world. Her laughter filled the quiet spaces betrayal had once occupied. Weekends with her brought life back into the house. Cartoons, toys, tiny footsteps. Co-parenting with Emily wasn't easy at first. Awkward silences, careful conversations, but they both loved Lily more than they hated the past. Daniel stayed distant, keeping his promise. The accident left him with a permanent limp, a daily reminder of his mistakes. Still, he sent Lily birthday gifts every year, never expecting a reply. When Lily turned 6, she asked, "Daddy, why does Uncle Daniel never come over?" Michael paused, then answered gently, "We had a big fight a long time ago. But he still loves you." She thought for a moment. "Then you should forgive him. I want both my heroes at my birthday." A week later, Michael made the call. At the party, the reunion was awkward, guarded smiles, quiet tension. But when Lily grabbed both their hands and pulled them to the cake, something shifted. Not full forgiveness, but the beginning of healing, built slowly through laughter, second chances, and the courage to let love exist beside the scars. As candles flickered on the cake, Michael glanced at Daniel, not with anger, but with tired understanding. Life had taken more from both of them than pride was worth. And in Lily's laughter, he realized, some bonds don't disappear. They simply wait for the right moment to mend.